So your name is Alexa, and I was kind of wondering, do you like your name? Like before Amazon's AI came out and after, I mean, have you always liked your name?
Honestly, no. Just straight up, when I was growing up and stuff, I really didn't like my name. And I like it now, but I think the reason I didn't like it is because it was so unique. Like, I didn't know anybody else with a name like that. And I just kind of felt like, why don't I have like a normal name, like Chloe or Grace or something? You know what I mean? And I guess it's probably more common than I think, but and you get older and you start to like appreciate that it's unique. So I started liking it more as I got older.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was young, I did not.
So you don't go by a nickname like Lexi or anything like that?
No, nope, just Alexa. I think when I was really, really little, people called me Alex sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but as an adult, no nicknames.
When was the first time you realized that there was an AI from Amazon with your name?
I do remember just like a general sense of like, what? Like, why would they choose that name? Because, the Amazon Alexa came out well after like Siri for the iPhone.
I didn't know when Siri came out. That's good to know.
Yeah, so I was familiar with Siri, and what I understood about Alexa was that it was going to be like the same basic idea. And I was like, well, why would they choose like such a normal like person's name? Like, why wouldn't they choose like a name that nobody has, or like a name that sounds a little bit more like, I don't know, robotic? I don't know. I was just like, this is too real of a name, Like, I know people are named Siri, but I feel like it's much less common. Or maybe it's not. Maybe that's just in my head.
Well, and I remember reading somewhere, it was something about the reason why they chose the word Alexa is because the letter X is one of the very least used letters in the alphabet, in our alphabet. So that sound is not used all that often.
Right.
So I think that's one of the reasons why they chose Alexa instead of like Alicia,
Right.
because the sound, because it's listening. I think what they call it is keyword monitoring or something like that. So they're not recording us all the time, but yes, she is listening all the time. She's listening for that keyword.
That just makes sense. You don't want it to be listening for a name that is heard all the time. Like you explain, if that sound is more rare, then it absolutely makes sense. That's what they would want their device to be listening for, right?
Right. What happens in your typical day? Well, so for you, what happens in your typical day that does not happen for other people that are not named Alexa?
So I think it would be a lot different if I had like a different job. I am a customer service worker, so I deal with the general public every single day. And when, everybody comes in and I have to wear my little name tag that says Alexa, and they come in, and so many people will come in and make a joke or make a comment about the name Alexa. And that definitely doesn't happen to my coworkers, So I would definitely say that that's something unique. And I think it's just really funny because literally dozens of people have made the exact same joke.
So
to
do
me.
tell, what are the jokes? What do they say?
So I would say the most common one is, like I said, I'm a service worker. So they'll come in and they'll be like, Alexa, check me out. Or like, Alexa, find me a pen, just like commands basically. And I'm just like, I don't love this. Like, if you need something, you are welcome to say, hey, excuse me, can I please, whatever. Having people like make a joke in a demanding kind of way kind of rubs me the wrong way. But, it's just, if you're dealing with the public, you got to deal with a lot of silly stuff. So
Well,
I'm used to it.
I never thought of that when people are making those type of jokes, it's like they're talking to their Amazon AI, and like I don't ever say, Alexa, please turn on the downstairs lights, or I don't ever say, please will you, or do you mind? I just say, Alexa, downstairs on. I just say it like a command. And I do, because I don't ever talk to her like she's a real person. So that would be extremely frustrating for you.
It can be frustrating. I feel like the first couple times I heard it, I was like, oh, that's funny. And then after like the 40th time, I'm like, okay, you're not original for this.
So do you have any snappy comebacks?
Honestly, no, not really. I feel like at this point I really should. But I usually just say stuff like, hey, I'm not a robot, or, just something silly like that, whatever the moment calls for. But I do make my friends who have the Amazon Alexa, I make them change her name.
Oh, good.
I'm like, I'm over at your apartment all the time. Like you have to change your name. You
have to change it to Echo or Amazon or computer.
Yeah. Like it's not gonna fly with me, unfortunately.
You are a smart woman. And do they comply?
Of course, yes. I tell them I'm the only Alexa in your lives, okay? Change it.
I saw one lady that she says that her name is Alexa, and she responds with a middle finger. But you can't really do that in your job.
No, not at work. I work on tips, that's not gonna fly.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you want to just grin and bear it.
Pretty much.
How do people react to your name when they meet you for the first time? I know that sometimes they make a joke, but like right when they hear it, are they like surprised? Are they trying to think of a joke? Or like, how do they react right when you introduce yourself?
I feel like it kind of varies. I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, that must suck. And I'm like, you're kind of right there. Like it does just a little bit. I feel like that's the reaction that like throws me the most, because like you tell me your name is Jim, I'm not going to tell you that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be personally offended by this, but
wow, for you.
For real. I feel very grateful when somebody learns my name and then doesn't say anything about it. It's just like, okay, nice to meet you. Like, I would prefer it if nobody commented on it, because I've heard it all. I've heard it all a million times. Yeah. I feel like if it's people that I'm meeting that I will be seeing again, like not customers or members of the general public, they usually feel bad for me.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't feel bad for me. Like, I'm not upset about it. I don't know why.
Don't pity me.
No, real. No, really. It's a good name, okay? I just have to share it.
And guess what else she answers to? Alexis.
Oh no, not Alexis.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've heard that like there was an SNL skit one time. It was like Alexa for old people, and the people could not say the word Alexa. They were always saying Alexis or something like that. So the smart speaker had to adapt to all the other ways they would say it.
Echo Silver, the only smart speaker device designed specifically to be used by the greatest generation. It's super loud and responds to any name even remotely close to Alexa, so they can find out the weather.
Allegra, what is the weather outside?
So,
Interesting.
And I've told my kids that I want a Lexus, like a car. I mean, I actually would rather have a Tesla, but
wouldn't we all?
I know, wouldn't we all? But when I want Alexis, it triggers the AI.
She's like, what can I help you with?
Actually, there was this girl, I heard about this girl, and she ordered a huge pillow, and it came. And she actually ordered it. I guess her parents didn't have any sort of restrictions on it. A picture of the girl just like hugging onto it and just like loving it. So what are you gonna do there? So
Yeah.
but yeah, I have a pin on mine, so you can't actually order anything.
Good.
Okay, so what about your mom? Does she ever joke with you about it? Does she ever
Oh
make
yeah.
yeah?
All the time. I mean, you know my mom's humor. She loves giving me crap for it. You know what I mean? Which is hilarious because she chose the name,
Yes.
of course.
It's her fault.
No, really. But she is the biggest perpetrator of the Alexa jokes. Every time I come and visit her, she does the same thing. She's like, Alexa, open my door. Alexa, do my laundry. All this stuff. And I'm like, you know what, Mom? Okay, I will. Like, this is one of the rare circumstances. But I will do what you're asking me to do because you're my mom.
Oh, I think she is abusing her power.
Honestly, I feel like she gets the right, she was the original like namer of the Alexa. I'll let her have it,
Let her have that glory.
But I feel like she's a little bit proud of coming up with the name because like now she kind of has that validation that it's a good name and like, it's unique and people like it.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of gives her a little ego boost. Like, yeah, I came up with that.
I found out, when did Amazon come out with the AI Alexa? It was November 6th, 2014.
Oh, I was 15 years
So you
old.
were 15 years old.
I was born in March, so I feel like I definitely wouldn't have found out about it until I was 16, So I probably found out about it that next year, and I just really think that it wasn't in my world, Like it was so new that nobody I knew like had it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
friends like weren't really talking about it because we're teenagers. We're not really talking about like the latest gadgets or whatever,
Exactly.
It became more prevalent in my life when I got to college and started meeting lots of new people, started working in the service industry. Like, I feel like that's when it really came to kick me in the butt.
The device, so this is actually an Amazon Echo. So the device is called an Echo, but the AI inside of it's called Alexa. And the original Amazon Echo, like the first generation, was renamed about a month before its launch in 2014. The device was originally named, get this, the Amazon Flash.
The Amazon Flash? Well, it's a good thing they renamed it.
Yeah, instead of the Amazon Echo. How many times have people asked you, Alexa, what's the weather?
Oh my God. See, that specific one too. It's so funny. I would say at least a dozen times. At least a dozen. With all different people too.
Yeah.
Because, and it's so funny because it really is that specific question. And I'm just like, bestie, look outside. Like, yeah.
So
It's a
funny.
funny joke, but I'm not going to answer it for you.
Okay, and how many times have people commanded you, Alexa, play my music?
I don't know if I've gotten the play my music one.
Okay.
Honestly. I feel like it's usually just like random stuff, like turn on the lights and like, stuff like that. But I would like that to happen. I would like that to come up so I can be like, okay, who's your top artist?
Yeah.
What genre do you listen to? Like, let me judge your music taste then.
Yes, that's a good conversation starter, right?
Yeah.
And has anyone said, Alexa, play Despacito?
No, no, thank goodness, because I would not react well to that. The biggest eye roll, I swear.
Really? So do you find all of this more funny or annoying? Like if you could put a percentage on funny and annoying, how would you split it?
I would definitely say it's like 80% funny or
Oh,
probably more than that, because like I'm not gonna take it too seriously.
yeah.
Like I'm at the point where I'm very comfortable in my identity as a person, so like it doesn't bother me. I guess the only thing that's frustrating about it is, like I said, like the repetition, like so many people making jokes about it. And even my friends, I'm like, guys, we've been friends for 10 years. You have to stop making these jokes.
You
know?
are so cool. You're so much cooler than me. I don't think I would be so cool about it. I would have to start coming with comebacks, and I'd be snarky but say it with a smile.
Yes, no, but I really should start working on those comebacks. I need them locked and loaded.
Right. So
Yeah.
do you think the other AIs have the same issue? Like, do you know of anyone named Google or Siri or Cortana or Bixby?
No, none of those names. I did know someone in high school whose name was Siri.
Really?
Yeah. So I feel like Siri is definitely more common than the other ones.
Uh-huh.
But I've never spoken with a Siri. Like, she was just kind of someone who was at my school with me.
Yeah.
But I would be very interested to see like the different experiences of a Siri versus an Alexa. You know what I mean?
Totally. Okay, so some people might say that this struggle is really a first world problem,
Yeah.
but it does sound like the struggle is real. So what do you think? Is this more of a first world problem?
I definitely think so, because like with my name, for example, people will make jokes from Amazon, sure, but there are people with like maybe really ethnic names or names that are difficult to pronounce, and people will, bully them and make fun of their name and like mispronounce it and all this stuff. And I feel like people who go through that have it much, much harder. Like this is just like a funny, goofy, like people will make these jokes sometimes, but at the end of the day, everybody can say my name and nobody is like tearing me down for it. You know what I mean?
About it. Yeah.
It would be much more difficult if I didn't have such a easily accepted name. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say it's a first world problem.
That is very enlightened, and I can tell that you have empathy for people, and that is such a wonderful quality to have. And that's just awesome, and I can tell you care about other people. So if we're in my house and talking about Amazon AI, but not wanting to trigger her, then we call her Alex A.
Well, there you go.
Just so she doesn't pop off,
Yeah, that's cute. That's a good idea.
And then whenever we want her to shut up and stop talking, we'll say, Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop! Stop! And I'm sure if you've ever heard that, like somebody's trying to get her to shut up and say, Alexa, stop. That must be very annoying. That would make me nervous. I'd be like, if someone was saying, Cynthia, stop, Cynthia, stop. It's like, what am I doing? What's going on?
The worst part about it is people will just say, Alexa, shut up. And I'm like, you're being so mean to me.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
I know.
Do you know how many people since 1880 were named Alexa in the United States?
I am gonna say, let's do like 50,000. Let's say that many. 50?
Yeah. Okay. 97,934 girls in the United States have been named Alexa since 1880.
Wow, that's a lot more than I thought. Almost twice as many.
And the source is babynameshub.com. And the greatest number of people were given this name in 2006.
I see.
And that's when 6,037 people in the United States were given the name Alexa in that year, 2006.
Wow.
So and that is before the Amazon AI came out.
Yeah.
And when were you born? What was your...
I was born in 1999.
Okay, cool year.
Yeah. So I was ahead of
Prince
the
wrote a
curve.
song about it. Let's party like it's 1999.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so 2006, that was the greatest number. And then popularity over time. How many girls have been named Alexa? This chart illustrates how many girls were named Alexa. So I'm going to show you this chart.
Okay, yeah.
So this is the graph right here. Okay, so it looks like from that chart that the spike is right there in 2006, and it didn't really start until like right after 1970. So then it started, which is kind of weird. Why did they say since 1880? But maybe that's just when they started recording it. I don't know. But yeah, 1970 it started just a little bit, and then 2006, zoom. And it's funny, this chart only goes to 2012, and the Amazon AI came out in 2014.
Right.
So
That's interesting. I wonder, like, if there was a TV show or like a movie with someone named Alexa, like, I wonder what caused the boom, you know?
right. I don't really know of any. There must have been something. You're right.
Yeah.
It must have been a movie or an actress or, somebody.
Something
But
like that.
we'll have to follow up, and I'll like flash it on the screen.
There you go.
Okay, so I did look up on babynames.com your name and gender female, origin American. I was like, what? Like normally
Yeah.
on these baby names, they're all like, oh, Italian or, Greek or Latin, all this kind of stuff. But it's origin American. I do not ever remember ever seeing that before. And the meaning, which I'm sure you know, is defender of the people.
Oh, no, I actually did not know
You
that.
Didn't
That's
know
very
that?
cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's very cool. I would say that that's spot on.
Really? That is so cool. Yeah. So do you feel like you're like, the whole thing with the empathy and you feel for other people. Do you feel like you are a defender of the people?
Well, I just feel like, I do feel very empathetic, and I really care about people like being happy and having a good time, and I like to think that I stand up for people where it's
Yeah.
needed. I like to think so about myself. So yeah, and I take after my mom with that. As you know, she very much is a people person. We care
Mhm.
very deeply for the people in our lives, and we like to protect them.
Absolutely. Okay, that is super cool. So this is a US popularity of the name Alexa by rank. So it starts in 1973. So that kind of goes along with the other graph that we were looking at.
Right.
But boys and girls, I don't see any blue on there. So I guess no boys are named Alexa. And it starts right around 1973, goes up, has a dip. And then in 1985, 1986, 1987, right up to, then it just went whoop, whoop, straight up.
Yeah.
And from like 1990 on, it was just kind of on an upward trajectory. And then it peaked. But that is just wild to see.
And it looks like it started like falling off around like 2016.
Isn't that funny? Because the AI came out in 2014.
Yep, and I'm sure that's why.
Oh my gosh, I bet you're right. Yeah, I did not even think of that.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because who would want to name their baby after an AI,
Right?
big companies AI. But the last question, do you ever tell people that they can change the name of the wake word and they don't know? Like they didn't know they could change it? Do you ever tell them?
Oh yeah, all the time. None of my friends knew that you could change it. It was me. I was the one that's like, you like for my sake, let's look into this. Let's figure out how we can change it together because I just really need you to do this for me as a friend, People are always surprised that you can change it.
You can change it? Well, why would you want us to change it, Alexa? Well, this has been so much fun, and I've learned so much about you today. And thank you for sitting with me and talking all this through. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Well, thank you very much. You as well. It's been a lot of fun for me too.
Good. Okay. Well, I will talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.